How you doing today, folks? Welcome to my channel, JRCam229, and welcome back, hopefully, to my 2 subscribers who hopefully will check out this video. What I want to do today is kind of give just a quick guide for the garage here in Mech Online. Because I remember when I first started this game, it's one of the things that kind of kept me from playing it that much early on, is just it was really annoying the way the layout is, and it took me a while to just figure this out. And one of the things that took me quite a while is just to figure out the simple step of how to buy my own mech. And I mean, it's one of the simplest things actually, but the way it looks here in the game, it looks kind of confusing. So basically, and then I'm going to show you that, just how to get around the garage here, and then I'll try and show you some differences between Inner Sphere and Clan mechs that I don't believe I've ever encountered in any other Mech Warrior game. So if you're new to this game, then it might be new to you as well. But first, okay, now how do we want to buy a mech? Go to the store, probably figure that, and then let's just go to light. And let's say I wanted to buy another Locust. Okay, so here's the 2 cost figures here. Now, you need to know that your blue is your Comstar bills, which that's your regular, the in-game currency you use for, you know, that's what you earn for battles and stuff. Now you can use it just to buy the regular content. Now, mech credits, that is what you would call your premium money. That would be, if you're familiar with World of Tanks, that would be your gold. And that, you either pay money to get it, and you can earn it a little bit here and there. Which, honestly, I think Mech Warrior Online is actually a little better about that than World of Tanks is, that they give more opportunities here to earn the premium currency. So, you look at the cost here, well, it threw me is because it looks like you say you need that amount of each. And when I had got started, obviously I didn't have any premium currency because I wasn't, you know, I'm not buying it. I pretty much never buy premium currency. But actually, what it means is you just need one or the other, and that it's one of the simplest things. But if you don't realize that, it'll throw you off, because that's what it kind of looks like. It's saying you need both. Like if I just hit add to cart, then it gives me the option which one. Which actually it didn't used to do this. When I first started, it didn't give this option. It just, you know, do you want to buy the mech? Yes. Then, you know what, it didn't tell you which one, or it didn't give you the option. But now it actually gives you the option here, which kind of tells you. I mean, but if you just casually look at it, you might not even get that far, just because that's kind of what it looks like it's saying, is you need both. But it's just saying you need one or the other. And then you've got a couple over here that are only available for the premium. But okay, so that's probably one of the biggest things that I've heard from other people. That wasn't just a problem I had. I mean, this garage, it's laid out a little different. First of all, the settings is actually down here in the lower right instead of in the top left like most games. I mean, I've rarely seen a game where the settings isn't either in the top left or right hand corner, but this, it's kind of down here, almost hidden away. Which actually, I forget if I have my mouse cursor turned on, so hopefully you guys can see the cursor. But I don't know, I think you should be able to see it. It kind of lights up when I hover over it. Now this is how you talk with other people in the game. Like, that shows my friends list, and click your unit, alerts, looking for group, and that shows your blocked players. So that's That's another thing, it's kind of hidden down there a little bit. It's kind of hard to see unless it's flashing or something. Then this one over here, that's, you just bring that up, it gives you the news. Although honestly, one thing that kind of annoys me about this is it doesn't really give you any detailed information. You'd actually have to go to the website to figure out what the details are on any of these offers are. And then you've got your select mech, and this is another thing, it can be a little confusing. I know my brother, he had a little trouble with this, at least he didn't realize some of it. So right now you've got my light, medium, heavy, and I don't have any assault mechs. And I don't have any champion hero special favorite mechs. But now one thing you also need to look at is this, which is, now you can select between trial mechs. And trial mechs, I mean, those are just mechs that are available for anybody to play. You don't have to own them, they're available to play. And it changes from time to time. I'm not exactly sure how often, but different mechs come available at different times. And then you can switch back to owned, or you can switch to both. Of course, now I generally never use trial mechs for anything since I own so many of my own mechs. But it's just one of those things, you know, it's kind of small. If you're not looking at it carefully, you won't really notice this. And you can switch between Inner Sphere and Clan as well, which pretty much all of my mechs almost are Clan, except for a couple. And then you can look at your weapon groups and stuff here, which, I mean, honestly, if you're going to look at your weapon groups, you probably usually are going to be doing that from your mech lab, but you can, I guess you can look at it from out there too. Another thing that you need to understand that sometimes it might go by you is your skills. Now let's say I want to look at the skills on Mad Dog. So I can go to Mech Tree, and this shows me, I mean, I've already unlocked these, and then now to unlock this you have to spend your, I forget what's that called, GXP? No, that's not, no, that's just your XP, I'm sorry. Each mech owns its own XP earned in battles, then you use that to unlock these. Now, to unlock these green ones down here, though, you have to have three different variants of one mech. So, let's go look at my, let's go back home real quick. Well, actually, I could have done it from right there. But I'm already here, so I have to have three different versions. So I've got three Mad Dogs here. Like, I've got a C, an A, and a Prime. They have to be three different variants. If you buy the same variant, it won't count before you can get your elite skills. Okay, let's go back to Mech Tree. And then once you get all of those, and then you can get a master skill. And that's what you use your normal XP for. Now you can use your GXP, is down here, general experience, and you earn a little bit of that per battle. And once again, if you're familiar with World of Tanks, that's basically the same as your free experience. And so that's basically what GXP is. That's like your free experience that you can use. You know, you can use that to get these points towards any of your mechs. It's just out there to be available for anything. But for the most part, I mean, you earn very little of that. Now, I need to go back and show you, though, if you're not careful, it'll slip by you, is you also have your pilot trees. And this unlocks modules for your mech. Now, it's a little bit of a pain because you unlock this, that doesn't automatically give it to that mech. Now it makes it available though, but you own GXP is the only thing you can use to buy these abilities here. And honestly, that's why you probably don't want to use your GXP towards your mech tree skills, because you can use regular XP for that. And GXP, you don't earn very much of it, so it's good to try and save it. And then you've got specific ones for your mech. I mean, now that kind of gets down in the weeds. I mean, they're all for your mech, but you have weapons specific, like down here, which increases your cooldown and range generally. I think that's pretty much all of the options that are in weapons, is range or cooldown. Then you have consumables, which I'll make another World of Tanks reference. That's basically like your equipment. If you know World of Tanks, the stuff that once it's used, it's gone. So you either have to buy it or replace it every mission. And then your mech skills, like that unlocks, like you can unlock airstrikes, or see, like I have radar deprivation here, which just it means that you disappear off the radar enemy radar as soon as you get out of their line of sight. Stuff like that. Some of it may affect a weapon. I mean, you could sound, although airstrike is kind of a weapon things, but mostly it has to do with your targeting or, you know, radar, stuff like that. Like you've got, no, that actually has to do with radar as well. Hill climb, stuff like that. Now then you've got some that are related to vision, target, support, sensors. Now we need to go back to what I was just saying though, is this only unlocks the ability, it does not automatically give it to the mech. So how would I actually give those abilities to the mech? Okay, so let's have to go to modules, then go to mech modules, and what do I have? So then you have to select it here, like I've unlocked that and that, and it costs 6 million to mount it. I mean, as you can see, there's the prices here, and it varies a little bit, but it's still a pretty hefty price. Even after you unlock it, you still need to be able to mount it. And then, now, that's another thing, is you have weapon modules are separate from your mech modules. And now, you see, this is saying it's locked. And the reason that is because that's another one of those things, it becomes unlocked once you have 3 mechs in different variants. And I think they have to be all the way to master to unlock that. Let me double check that. Back to my mech tree. And then there's your master, which that would be the master item, is unlocking the second module slot for your mech. And I think that's the same on all mechs, I believe. I think that master, it's always the same thing. As far as I've ever seen, I'm pretty sure it's what it is on all mechs. And then you have your weapons. So you have 2 weapon modules, which are available from the start. Net 1 mech weapon module. And then this, I'm actually... yeah, that's the same one. And then you've got your consumable slots, which are you get both of those from the start. And then that, I think that does it for most of the stuff I wanted to show here in the garage. Now, obviously, you can go to your camo specs and stuff like that, but now most of your camo, you have to pay the premium currency for the most part to get that. So if you're a new player, you're probably not going to be worrying about that anyway. Let's see then, you've got your inventory. And And then first that gives you the list of battle mechs, but you want to remember like your weapon systems and equipment. And then you've got, I don't have any available modules, then your omnipods, things like that. Now if you have things that you don't want to use anymore, I mean this stuff, it can be quite valuable. And the most valuable thing I think I've ever seen is engines. If you get engines that you don't want to use anymore for whatever reason, they're very valuable to sell. So you want to keep that in mind, just trying to remember what's in your inventory and maybe go through it from time to time just to see if you can clean anything out to sell. And so then you got your achievements, which it's not a big deal. Now manage drop decks, you can do that from here, but that's mostly a thing you're going to do in faction play. That's where I do it from, but you can look at it from in here. Statistics, that doesn't really tell you that much unless you basically you have to open the website on a separate page to look at that. Leaderboard, redeem code, titles, badges. Testing grounds, that basically just allows you to go to a map with, honestly never really used it that much. I don't know if there are enemies anywhere on that or if it's just a free roam around one of the quick play battles. And then you've got Academy, which that you can go, actually I know you can do live weapons fire on actual enemies in the Academy. Okay, so I wanted to take you and show you some of the differences between there it is. See, I forgot about myself there. Inner Sphere and Clan Mechs. Alright, so actually let's go to the weapon, or the mech lab here. Now if you've played, say, Mech 4 Mercenaries, and I think Vengeance, I believe it was the same. Now you probably remember, you can take this to downgrade your speed, and it gives you extra weight available. And you can do that with Inner Sphere mechs. Now one thing you want to notice though is to tweak the engine, it costs me close to $1 million, which is, honestly, that's interesting because that's about 2/3 the total cost of this mech. And yet it cost me that much just to tweak the engine on it. But that is something that's available. Now also on Inner Sphere mechs, you can take the engine completely out and get rid of it and get a new engine if you want. On Clan Mechs, you cannot do that. The engines, whatever they come with, that's what you get. And another thing is on Inner Sphere Mechs, you have the option for a XL engine. And XL engines, like let's say if I click that, you'll notice it takes up slots in the shoulders. That's very important. Because if you lose your engine, I mean, that's pretty much how you always get killed most of the time, is losing your engine. So basically when you expand the areas your engine takes up, you're basically expanding your critical points where you can be killed at. And very important to note is all clan mechs that I've ever seen, I'm pretty sure 100% of them use XL engines. So they tend to be very vulnerable to getting killed by losing their shoulders. If you lose a shoulder, you're dead, because that's where part of your engine is, and if you lose your engine, it's game over. So on Inner Sphere mechs, it's probably good. Now it does give you extra weight. I mean, that's the trade-off. It gives you extra weight, and I think it's supposed to give you a little extra speed too, although I don't think I noticed it make a difference. It didn't give this mech any extra speed, but it did give me like an extra 2.5 tons. But it increases your vulnerability so much that honestly I'm not sure if it's worth it. In most mechs I would say it's not worth it. In a light mech like the Flea that's really hard to hit, I don't know, it might be. I might try it sometime. But in assault mechs, you probably don't want to go there. those are things to keep in mind. Now, another thing is, on an inner sphere mech, though, there is a required number of heat sinks, and I think it just depends on your engine and stuff. Like if I take a heat sink out, it's going to give me this warning up here, and I click on that, said you require one more heat sink. You cannot launch into a match until all alerts have been fixed. So basically I have to have a certain number of extra heat sinks. Now clan mechs, in my experience, you don't have to add any other heat sinks, although it's often advisable to do so, but you don't have to do it. Okay, so for that, go to equipment, and then that's where my heat sinks are. Now, another thing that's there is case. Case is something you would use if you have like ammunition, like missile or ballistic ammunition. That basically, it keeps the ammunition from exploding if you lose that that part of your mech. Basically, the ammo won't go critical on you. That's basically all that does. Now, most clan mechs that I've seen automatically have that. They come with that. But the inner sphere mechs, it's optional. So that's something you want to keep in mind, and it doesn't cost much weight or money, but you have to factor it in if you want to add that. And of course, now if you've played other mech games, you're probably familiar with the concept that inner sphere weaponry is shorter ranged as a rule of thumb than clan weaponry. Pretty much across the board, clan weaponry is longer ranged. So that's something else that you want to keep in mind. Now, I guess something else I should mention is if you're new to this game and you're only familiar to older Mech Warrior games, you cannot mix clan weapons onto inner sphere mechs or vice versa. Inner sphere mechs have to use only inner sphere weapons, and clan mechs can only use clan weapons. Which, it's a little bit of a bummer, but you kind of get used to it after a while. Now that is an important factor, is after you set up a loadout, it's very important you get your weapon groups right. So don't forget to go to your weapons group, and don't forget to save your changes, because that's something I do a lot. Is, you forget to hit the save, and that goes for anything in your mech lab. Don't forget to save before you exit, or you could jump into battle and you've got a mess, kind of. Alright, so I think, is there anything else? I think the last thing I wanted to give a quick overview on was, just give a quick overview on the faction play here. So to get in faction battles, first click on faction play, then it'll show you your map here. And then this shows you what's currently going on. Like currently Clan Wolf is it's actually new, that's interesting. Clan Wolf is attacking Kurita. Which honestly, it doesn't make sense to me. I would rather finish off the Steiner pocket here and then go after the Rasselhag guys that are still left, but oh well. And this number is the key one that you want to look at. Like, see the 0 zeros, that means nobody is in the queue attacking and nobody is there defending. So you really now would be a bad time to go in and try and attack, because you would be waiting there forever probably. And now you have your scouting, and then you have your invasion. Now scouting, if you win the majority of scouting matches, that gives your units, when they go to the invasion mode, like combat identification, satellite sweep, and artillery. And actually now, I'm not sure if all you need is I don't think it's a simple majority of battles when to get these. You have to win, like I think it's a very high percentage. Like, see, I think if you see the ring, it's not closed fully there, which means I don't think we have that available. I'm not exactly sure what the percentage is to get to that threshold. I don't know, you probably need like 60% or something. And And then you need a higher percent to get the satellite sweep and a higher percent to get the artillery strike. But those are basically just bonuses for invasion, where the real money is at, and the important part is in the invasion. I mean, scouting helps them. Now, scouting, that is 4 on 4. That's not full teams there. It's just 4 on 4, and there is no extra drops. You get 1 life in there. Now, invasion, that's your full 12 on 12 battles, and you get 4 drops. 3 respawns after your first drop. And that brings us to the drop deck. So you've got 4 mechs that can bring into battle. Like I've got my Nova set to first drop, and then after that it switches back to the beginning, and I have 3 more drops after that. And then whoever gets the most kills usually wins. There are some game modes where you can win if you're the attacker just by destroying objectives, but most of the time it comes down to the kills, seems like. And now I showed you the drop deck quickly from the home page, but this is usually that. It only has importance in faction play, and I usually edit it from faction play. I usually don't even look at it from my home screen. Now, career selection, if you're new, now then this is something you need to figure out. Like, do you want to be a loyalist? Which, for a loyalist, you can only fight for the particular faction you select. Like, I'm with Clan Wolf, so I can only fight with Clan Wolf. I can't go out and fight for anybody else. Now, if you're a mercenary, you can fight for whoever you decide, but you do have to sign a contract. And while that contract is valid, you can only fight for that particular group. And then freelancer, and that, you can just fight for whoever, whenever you feel like it. Although I don't think you get as many bonuses for doing that. Like, you don't get faction loyalty or mercenary reputation points. It does not receive special mission payouts. I mean, which basically, I think you're basically getting only the same payout as if you're going into quick play, I believe. Now, if you were a loyalist, now you get extra money and loyalty points, which basically comes down to, gives you extra ranks, basically. And then mercenaries, they have their mercenary reputation, and I believe you do qualify for the extra faction bonus, whichever faction you're fighting for. Like, let's see, map. Like, let me show you the ranks real quick. Where they're in our Clan Wolf. So basically, I'm like a rank 3 warrior, getting close to 4. And basically, you just have to fight enough battles, and you just earn a certain number of points towards these over time. And that's another thing is, now, if you're mainly concerned trying to get money, the invasion mode, for a win, you get 250,000 credits for that. And I think it's, I think it's 100 loyalty points in the invasion mode. And then if you win the scouting match, it's only a 25,000 bonus for scouting. And I think you get 25 loyalty points. So, I mean, there's limited reward for doing the scouting, but it can help the guys in the invasion mode if you get, like, artillery can be a major bonus if you get it, but that one I think it's pretty hard to get though. And let me see, I think that pretty much wraps up what I wanted to show you on this video. Now, you may have noticed I have not really posted, like if you're my 2 subscribers, you've noticed I haven't really posted much recently, but I've kind of figured some things out that was kind of bothering me, so I should be posting somewhat regularly now. So that's something you want to keep in mind. Probably be posting some things on World of Warships, maybe a couple more Mech Online videos. Probably doing that soon. So anyway, if this little video has helped you, hopefully give the video a like, and thank you for watching.